All right, let's just jump right in. I want you to do something for me. Just picture the night sky. I mean, really picture it. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, has hundreds of billions of stars. It's a number that's so big, our brains can't really even process it.
Now get this, scientists estimate that just in our galaxy, there are around 40 billion Earth-like planets. Not just planets, planets in the Goldilocks zone. You know, that perfect spot where things aren't too hot, not too cold, and life, well, life as we know it, could actually happen.
Okay, so you've got all that cosmic real estate, right? Billions and billions of potential homes for life. The universe should be absolutely buzzing with civilizations. It should be a noisy place. But when we point our telescopes out there, we get nothing. Just silence. And that is the huge, nagging question we're going to unpack.
This profound, almost spooky silence from a universe that should be full of chatter, it actually has a name. And it's one of the most fascinating and, frankly, chilling questions in all of science. It's called the Fermi Paradox. And it's named after the physicist Enrico Fermi, who supposedly just blurted it out during lunch one day. He looked at the numbers, the sheer odds, and just asked, "So, where is everybody?" And that's the paradox in a nutshell. All the logic, all the math says the sky should be full of aliens. But all the evidence, everything we can see and hear, tells us we're alone. So to really get why this paradox hits so hard, we need to understand why scientists are so convinced that numbers shouldn't be zero. Why do they expect the universe to be teeming with life in the first place? Well, they use this tool called the Drake equation. And hey, don't worry, nobody's going to ask you to solve it. It's not really a math problem. Think of it more like a recipe or thought experiment. It's a way to take one huge, impossible question and break it down into a bunch of smaller, more bite-sized guesses. So the equation kind of walks you through the whole story of life in the universe. It starts broad. Okay, how many stars are there? How many of them have planets? Then it narrows down. How many of those planets are in the right zone for life? And on how many of those does life actually pop up? Then it gets even tougher. How often does that life get smart? How often does it build technology? And then, the real kicker, how long do those chatty, tech-savvy civilizations stick around before they, go quiet? And here's the wild part. You can be super pessimistic with your guesses. You can plug in the most conservative, low-ball numbers you can think of for every single one of those steps. And the equation still spits out an answer that's not just one or two. It usually suggests there should be thousands of civilizations out there right now in our galaxy alone. But wait, it gets even weirder. It's not just about who's around today. Our galaxy is incredibly old. We're talking billions of years of head starts for life to evolve. Scientists figure that just one spacefaring civilization could pretty much colonize the entire galaxy in a few million years. Which sounds like a long time to us, but on a cosmic scale, it's nothing. It's a blink of an eye. The fact that no one has, well, that makes the silence even louder. So if the math is right, but the sky is empty, something must be wrong. And that brings us to the most popular and maybe the most profound explanation we have. It's an idea called the Great Filter. The Great Filter theory says that somewhere along the line from simple life to a galaxy-spanning empire, there's a wall, an obstacle, a challenge that is so incredibly hard to overcome that almost nobody makes it past. It's a kind of cosmic final boss that weeds out virtually all life in the universe. And this right here leads to what might be the single most important question for all of humanity. If this filter is real, did we already pass it, or is it still waiting for us? Somewhere up ahead. How you answer that question leads to three really mind-bending possibilities for our place in the cosmos. Let's look at each one. Is the filter in the past, in the future, or is something else going on entirely? So this gives us two huge opposite outcomes. First, the hopeful but kind of lonely one, we are rare. This means the Great Filter is behind us. Maybe just getting life started or evolving a big brain. Maybe that's the nearly impossible step. And we, humanity, we were the 1 in a trillion lottery ticket that made it through. The other possibility, it's terrifying. We are doomed. This says the filter is ahead of us.
It means lots of civilizations get to where we are now, but something always happens that wipes them out. In that story, we're not special. We're just next in line.
And what's could a future filter be? Well, take your pick from our own headlines. A full-blown nuclear war. A climate that collapses beyond repair. Or maybe an artificial intelligence that we create but can't control. The chilling idea here is that the very intelligence that gives a species power also gives it the tools for its own annihilation. Okay, but what if it's not about being rare or doomed? What if the filter isn't some obstacle we have to pass, but a decision someone else made? This is the third, and maybe the weirdest, idea, the zoo hypothesis. This theory suggests that advanced aliens are out there all right, and they're watching us. But they've deliberately put us in a kind of cosmic nature preserve with a strict look but don't touch policy.
There's a really powerful analogy for this. Imagine an ant colony that's built right next to a 10-lane superhighway. The ants might feel the vibrations, they might notice weird shadows, but they have absolutely zero capacity to understand what a car is, what a highway is, or the massive civilization that built it all. What if we're the ants? We might be looking for signals we can't even begin to imagine.
So what do we do with all this? Where does this leave us? The paradox doesn't really give us any solid answers. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the lack of an answer is an answer in itself.
Because no matter which of these wild possibilities is true, whether we're the first, the next to fall, or just exhibits in a galactic zoo, that silence out there is telling us something incredibly important.
It's telling us that what we have right here, right now, this messy, beautiful, complicated thing called consciousness on this tiny blue planet is precious. It's a treasure. The silence of the universe should make us listen to the sounds of our own world a little more carefully. It should remind us just how fragile and valuable our existence is. Because whatever the final answer to the paradox is, it means that what we have is not a given, and it might just be the rarest thing in the whole galaxy.